Wait until you hear the exact clause in that contract, because it's something no rookie has ever secured before.
Shedeur Sanders has sold the most amount of jerseys out of any rookie this year, but out of the top 10 jersey sellers, he's making the least amount of money. Which got me thinking, how many jerseys would he actually have to sell in order to match his NFL salary? He's on a 4-year, $4.6 million deal, which averages about $1.16 million per year. A jersey costs $130, so he'd have to sell about 9,000 jerseys per year, or 35,736 jerseys total to pay out his NFL contract. It's crazy because if you compare it to Cam Ward, he'd have to sell over 375,000 jerseys to match his NFL contract. Sometimes the brand is bigger than the draft position.
A lot more than just me, so regardless of pain, that's always how I've been.
Actually, he's number one in all rookies. There's been a lot said about Shedeur, positive, negative, made up AI stories, things of that nature, but something that cannot be denied, and it's officially official, is that he is one of the most popular players the NFL has ever seen. And you know why? I got stats to prove it, son. Shedeur Sanders is officially, from the beginning of the season, the number 5 best-selling jersey in the National Football League.
Nike just shocked the entire NFL world by pulling off what might be the biggest rookie product launch in league history. And it's all because Shedeur Sanders just shattered every jersey sales record imaginable right before his 24th birthday. We're talking about a cultural phenomenon that has stores across the nation absolutely packed, online inventory vanishing in minutes, and Nike projecting close to $15 million in sales in just the first few days. This wasn't just a shoe drop. This was a statement that proved Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback, he's a full-blown marketing empire that's rewriting the rules of how rookies operate in this league. And when you hear the numbers behind his Nike deal and what just happened with this birthday release, you're going to understand why the entire sports business world is scrambling to figure out how one player has this much power before even playing a full NFL season.
In the top 10. I want to be honest. I want to congratulate Shedeur, and I want to be forthcoming, right? I've made a few videos this week and over the few weeks, right? We talked about the prime equity situation and stuff like that. The reason why I want to tell the truth and be transparent about all these things is because Shedeur Sanders' greatness cannot be denied. Like, I want that to be known. When Marcellus Wiley and all these other pundits are talking about, well, what has he done that's legendary?
Look, I need you to sit down for this one, because what just happened with Nike and Shedeur Sanders isn't just another product launch story. This is the kind of moment that changes how we think about athlete marketing, rookie potential, and the intersection of sports and business. And it all went down just 24 hours before Shedeur turned 24 years old. So here's how this whole thing unfolded. Nike, the biggest sports brand on the planet, decided to drop a bombshell. They launched a special edition signature shoe designed specifically for Shedeur Sanders. Not just any shoe, but a commemorative piece celebrating his birthday and his entire rookie journey with the Cleveland Browns. And within hours, I'm talking hours, stores across the entire nation were absolutely packed. We're not talking about a few people showing up to check them out. We're talking lines stretching around the block, wall-to-wall people inside Nike stores, and online stock vanishing faster than anyone could have predicted. The numbers are insane. Nike is projecting sales close to $15 million in just the first few days. Let me repeat that. $15 million in a matter of days for a rookie quarterback's signature shoe. Do you understand how unprecedented that is? Most athletes take years, sometimes an entire career, to build that kind of immediate product demand. Shedeur did it before his 24th birthday, before playing a full NFL season. That's not just impressive, that's revolutionary. Let's break down what makes these shoes so special, because Nike didn't just slap Shedeur's name on a generic design and call it a day. They put thought into this, real thought. The shoes feature Cleveland's signature colors splashed across a clean white base, giving them that fresh, versatile look that works both on and off the field. It's the kind of design that catches your eye immediately, but doesn't scream, "Look at me," in an obnoxious way. It's confident without being over the top, exactly like Shedeur himself. But here's where it gets really personal, really special. The sole of the shoe has been customized with a money sign design. And if you followed Shedeur's journey at all, you know that's not just some random symbol Nike threw on there for marketing purposes. That money sign perfectly captures the Shedeur brand and everything he represents. It's bold, it's confident, it's unapologetic. And honestly, it's exactly what you'd expect from someone who's been making headlines and backing it up since his college days at Colorado. Nike didn't stop there, though. They understood that this release needed to be more than just a transaction. It needed to be an experience, a cultural moment that fans would remember. So they went all out with the release ceremony. They invited Deion Sanders Jr. to the event, and let me tell you, watching Deion Jr. talk about his brother was something special. He was absolutely beaming with pride, talking about all the love and support Shedeur has been receiving over the years. It wasn't just a business event, it was a family moment that resonated with everyone watching. And Nike's marketing strategy went even deeper to really attract the crowds and build that nostalgic connection that makes products iconic. They showcased Shedeur Sanders' very first professional shoes, the ones he wore when he started playing college ball. Think about how smart that is from a storytelling perspective. This wasn't just about selling a new product, it was about taking people on a journey, showing the evolution from college standout to NFL star. They were selling the story as much as they were selling the shoes.
That's the nomenclature that was being used. He's making people feel small. He's coming in here and wants to dictate the offense. Yeah, that's what a quarterback is supposed to want to do, right? Oh, he has the confidence and he wants to change a franchise? How dare he? It's so crazy to me that the continuation just kept happening.
Where did Nike choose to do this massive launch? San Francisco. And the Nike store there was absolutely insane. I'm talking wall-to-wall people, energy that was electric, fans going absolutely crazy trying to get their hands on these special edition kicks. You could feel that this was more than just a shoe release. This was a movement. People weren't just browsing or checking them out, they were buying multiple pairs. In some cases, the demand was so overwhelming that Nike had to quickly reassess their entire inventory situation and figure out how to keep up. Now, to really understand why this launch was so successful, why it's breaking records and shocking the NFL, we need to rewind a bit and talk about Shedeur's relationship with Nike, because this didn't happen overnight. Shedeur Sanders has been a Nike athlete for years, ever since he signed his first contract with them during his college days. He's been building this brand, this relationship, this trust with Nike systematically and strategically. But what happened when he made the jump to the NFL? That's where things get absolutely wild, and it's a story that most people still don't fully understand. Shedeur Sanders made history, and I'm not exaggerating here, this is actual documented history, by becoming the first player ever to secure a major endorsement contract before even stepping onto an NFL field. Not the first quarterback, not the first rookie, the first player ever. And we're not talking about a small deal either. Initially, Shedeur signed a massive $125 million contract before entering the league. Let that sink in for a moment. $125 million, and he hadn't played a single professional game yet. He hadn't thrown a touchdown pass in the NFL. He hadn't taken a snap under center in a regular season game. But Nike looked at him and said, "We believe in this kid so much that we're willing to bet $125 million on his potential." That alone should tell you everything you need to know about what Nike saw in Shedeur Sanders. They weren't just investing in a quarterback, they were investing in a brand, a cultural icon, a marketing phenomenon. They understood something that a lot of people still don't get. Shedeur's value extends far beyond what he does between the white lines on Sunday. But here's where it gets even crazier, and this is the part that absolutely blows my mind every time I think about it. The moment Shedeur hit the field in his first first preseason game, Nike triggered what's called the active player clause in his contract. It's a clause that basically says once you actually start playing, once you prove you're an active NFL player, the deal changes. And just like that, his contract doubled. We're now looking at an astounding $250 million over the next 4 years. That's not a typo. That's not an exaggeration. $250 million for a player who critics said was overhyped, who some analysts said shouldn't have been drafted as high as he was, who faced constant scrutiny about whether he could succeed outside of his father's system. Nike looked at all that noise and said, "We don't care. We're going all in on Shedeur Sanders."
Like Jahmyr Gibbs, who's been in the league for multiple years, Georgia Tech and Alabama running back, and then of course you go to Travis Hunter. But yeah, this is if we're talking about impact, if we're talking about being out of the usual, being a rookie quarterback that's the emergency quarterback right now in a system that clearly doesn't even want to bend themselves to what you got going on and what your strengths are as a rookie, right?
And the perks don't stop there. On top of that massive $250 million contract, Shedeur also gets 50% of the revenue from his jersey sales. 50%! Do you understand how unheard of that is for a rookie? Most players get a small percentage, maybe 5-10% if they're lucky, and have a really good agent. Shedeur negotiated for half. Every single time someone buys a Shedeur Sanders jersey, half of that money goes directly into his pocket. That's not just income, that's building generational wealth through smart business structure. This deal officially makes him the highest paid rookie in NFL history from an endorsement standpoint. And here's what makes this even more remarkable, even more proof that traditional metrics don't capture Shedeur's value. He wasn't even drafted in the first round like many analysts had predicted. When draft night happened and his name wasn't called early, critics jumped all over it. They said it proved he was overrated. They said teams saw through the hype. They said his stock had fallen. But Shedeur kept moving. He kept building. He kept proving that draft position doesn't define your worth anymore. Because somehow, despite not being a first-round pick, he's already out-earning top prospects like Cam Ward and Travis Hunter, guys who were projected to go much higher in the draft, guys who had all the traditional markers of success. That's the power of the Sanders brand, the Nike marketing machine, and smart business decisions all coming together in perfect harmony. Nike clearly saw something special in Shedeur, and they were willing to bet big on his star power and marketability. And based on these shoe sales, based on the $15 million they're projecting in just the first few days, based on the lines around the block and the sold-out inventory nationwide, that bet is paying off in a major, major way. But here's what's really wild and what nobody's talking about. What if this shoe launch isn't even the biggest part of Nike's strategy with Shedeur? What if this is just the beginning of something so much larger that it changes how rookies negotiate deals forever? So let's talk about what's happening right now with these birthday shoes, because it's absolutely insane. Nike is crushing it with their Shedeur Sanders strategy to a degree that's honestly shocking even the people inside the company. These newly launched shoes are flying off shelves so fast that they're literally going out of stock nationwide. And when I say nationwide, I mean nationwide. We're not talking about slow sales in certain markets or regional variations in demand. We're talking complete sellouts across the entire country, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, South, everywhere. The demand has been so overwhelming, so beyond what anyone predicted, that Nike has reportedly ramped up production significantly to try and meet it. They're working overtime. They're pulling resources from other product lines. They're doing everything they can to get more pairs into stores and online because people are absolutely crazy about these shoes. And honestly, can you blame them? It's a limited edition commemorative shoe for one of the most exciting young players in the league, with a design that actually looks incredible and tells a story. Nike is projecting that they'll hit close to $15 million in sales within just the first couple of days. For context, for perspective on how absolutely massive that number is, that's an insane achievement for a rookie signature shoe launch. That kind of immediate success usually takes years to build with an athlete. You develop the relationship over time, you release product after product, you slowly build momentum and demand. But Shedeur skipped all those steps and went straight to blockbuster status. And it's not just about the shoes. This is where the genius of Nike's strategy really shows itself. Shedeur Sanders' jersey has also been the best-selling NFL jersey in Nike stores. So Nike is cashing in on multiple fronts here simultaneously. Footwear, check. Apparel, check. Accessories, check. Everything with Shedeur's name or number on it is moving fast. They've created a complete ecosystem around one player, and every piece of that ecosystem is generating massive revenue. This is exactly why Nike signed Shedeur even before he stepped onto an NFL field. This is why they were willing to structure that $125 million deal before he played a snap. They understood the marketing potential. They saw the fan base he brings. Not just football fans, but culture fans, fashion fans, people who follow the Sanders family saga. They recognized the legacy aspect, the personal brand appeal, the social media influence. They saw the bigger picture that a lot of traditional sports analysts missed because they were too focused on completion percentages and arm strength. Nike's growth with Shedeur is clearly visible, and it's happening in real time right before our eyes. And with every new product they release featuring his signature style, both parties are winning. Shedeur is helping Nike tap into a younger, more diverse audience that traditional football marketing sometimes struggles to reach. Meanwhile, Nike is giving Shedeur the platform and resources to build his brand on a global scale, something that would be nearly impossible to do independently, even with his father's connections and influence. And Nike isn't slowing down. If anything, they're going more aggressive with their Shedeur Sanders strategy, showing the world exactly how they can use his image and influence to create viral products and drive massive sales. They're treating him like a superstar veteran in terms of marketing investment, and he's delivering results that justify that treatment. If they actually hit that $15 million mark in just 2 days, and based on the trajectory, it looks like they will, that's going to be one hell of an achievement. Not just for Nike as a company, but for Shedeur Sanders as a brand, because it proves something that critics have been doubting since he declared for the draft, that his value transcends football statistics, that his marketability is real and measurable, that investing in him isn't hype, it's smart business. Let's talk about what this means for the future, because this moment is going to have ripple effects throughout the entire sports business world. Other brands are watching this Nike-Shedeur partnership very closely. They're seeing the numbers. They're seeing the demand. They're seeing how one player with the right marketing strategy can generate this kind of revenue. And they're asking themselves, how do we find the next Shedeur Sanders? But here's the thing. There might not be a next Shedeur Sanders. What he's doing is so unique, so specific to his personal brand and family legacy and cultural positioning that it might be unreplicable. You can't manufacture a Deion Sanders son. You can't create the Colorado story. You can't fake the social media presence and authenticity that Shedeur brings. This is lightning in a bottle, and Nike was smart enough to recognize it early and invest heavily. For other rookies coming into the league, this sets a new precedent. It shows that your draft position doesn't have to define your earning potential. It proves that brand value can outweigh traditional football metrics in terms of overall compensation. It demonstrates that the modern NFL athlete needs to think like a CEO, not just a player. Shedeur understood that from day one, and it's paying off in ways that are honestly unprecedented. The jersey sales records that Shedeur is breaking aren't just impressive numbers, they're proof of concept. They validate everything Nike bet on when they signed him to that massive deal. They show that fan engagement translates directly to revenue. They demonstrate that the Sanders brand has real, measurable economic impact. And they send a message to every other brand in the sports world. This is the new model for athlete marketing. This is just the beginning, and I genuinely mean that. We're watching the rise of what could be one of the most marketable athletes of this generation, and Nike positioned themselves perfectly to capitalize on it. They didn't wait for Shedeur to prove himself on the field first. They didn't hedge their bets with a smaller deal. They went all in from day one, and that confidence is being rewarded with record-breaking sales and unprecedented demand. The Shedeur Sanders era is officially here, and it's not just about football anymore. It's about culture, it's about business, it's about showing that a modern athlete can build an empire that extends far beyond the field, and Nike is along for the ride, benefiting from every step of this journey. When you look at these birthday shoes selling out nationwide, when you see the $15 million projection, when you watch the lines around the block and the social media buzz and the cultural conversation, you're witnessing something special. This isn't just another product launch. This is a defining moment that will be studied in sports marketing classes for years to come. So what do you think about Nike's strategy with Shedeur Sanders? Is this the smartest rookie investment a brand has ever made, or is there still risk that he needs to prove himself on the field first? Would you grab a pair of these special edition birthday shoes if you had the chance? And most importantly, do you think Shedeur's success is changing how we should evaluate rookie value in the modern NFL? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I want to hear what you think about this historic moment. Are you Team Shedeur, believing this is just the beginning of something legendary? Or are you skeptical that the hype can be sustained long term? And don't forget to smash that subscribe button because we're tracking every development in Shedeur's journey, every record he breaks, and every business move that's redefining what it means to be a rookie in today's NFL. This story is far from over, and you don't want to miss what comes next. Let's talk about it in the comments right now.